Hello there, guys, and welcome back to my channel for another Premier League live match preview as Chelsea also take on Arsenal at Stamford Bridge tomorrow night with a very late kickoff at 8:15 p.m. UK time. To discuss that, as you can see, we're joined by two very, very special guests. Of course, first on the the blue side of things, Mr. Craigo, Mr. Ian. I never remember what I want to call you online, so it always ends up being a weird mix. First of all, Ian,
you can call me whatever the hell you want to call me.
There you go. But I always get it mixed up in my head anyway. I know that, but I keep calling you both at the same time. It's weird. Anyway, bro, first of all, good to see you. And secondly, how you doing?
I'm all right. I'm happy enough. Chelsea in the Champions League final. Bav's, I don't know if Bav's was alive the last time Arsenal were in a Champions League final. I'm not too sure. But
I actually was. I was 2006. I was 6 years old.
6? Oh, okay. So not too dissimilar age to me.
Yeah,
Do you remember it?
Yeah. I was there.
Well, yeah.
No, I wasn't. I'm joking.
I was going to say, bloody hell. Jeez, your dad's got a few quid, hasn't he?
No, I wasn't there, man. Unfortunately. Fortunately, I wasn't there.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Where was that final held anyway?
Paris.
Paris, was it? Okay, there you go. Well, as you can, might have already been able to tell, of course, we're joined by a new guest on the channel, which I'm very appreciative for him joining, even though he might not be in the best mood at the moment as an Arsenal fan, as very few Arsenal fans probably are. But, that's even more so. Now, I appreciate you coming on. Mr. Babs, first of all, how are you doing? Secondly, check him out in the description. The same goes, of course, for Ian. Both their links are down in the description below. Babs, how you been? And, any sort of positivity for you ahead of tomorrow's game, or you're just shitting yourself, really?
Positivity. And thanks for having me on. I really appreciate you having me on. And, in terms of my mood, well, just an Arsenal fan right now. Just going with life, I guess. And just taking it as it comes, because we're suffering right now, but I think we're used to suffering, so it's a bit weird. Like I'm not angry, I'm not disappointed, I'm just dead inside for Arsenal. So it is what it is.
I suppose it is what it is. It's a tough time, really, and that's obviously usually in our previews we focus mostly on Chelsea. I do want to discuss Arsenal a little bit. Like, I know it might be hard to discuss for Babs in that way, but it's drastic. Not long ago.
It's not hard. I'm used to it.
There you go. It's like, I don't know, only an hour ago I watched a video of who are the biggest teams and whatever, and it's it's this debate of just how Arsenal is just where they were and where they are now, and I want to kind of, do you count these FA Cup wins as anything that you actually but we won the FA Cup though.
Let's not go there, because I will come out of my shell. If you say Arsenal was smaller than Chelsea, I will come out and I will defend my club to the death. If my defenders are as good as I am defending my club, we be top of the league right now, right? So I will come out. Yeah, that's why I'm not. No, that's why they're not.
Well,
they're not as
to be
good
honest,
as me.
defensively, you ain't even been that bad. The problem is you can't score goals.
Our fans have better defenders than the players themselves. Simple as. We defend the club better. Our players embarrass the club, while our fans are trying to, save us something. But it is what it is.
Hey, it's a tough one. Obviously, Arsenal haven't beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge since 2011. I'm pretty sure it's nearly 10 years. So, we're starting to build almost a bit of a run like we had against Tottenham until Conte ruined it. Cheers for that, mate. But, we're getting there. And, for Arsenal, it's not been fun. Where are you right now in the table, Babs? Are you 9th, 10th? What is it?
I don't know, man. I haven't looked at the Premier League table for a while. I mean, I've looked at the WSL, and Arsenal were third there. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to say. I don't know, man. I don't look that up. That's too high for my liking. Just looking at where we are. Done.
There you go. I always, obviously, from Arsenal fan TV and everything, we always see everybody talking about, we're not getting European football. Are you actually too far from 7th to actually make Europe? Or is it just you call it, we're not going to be in Europe?
We're not actually that far. I think we're 4 points off Tottenham. I think we are. And the same games played as well. So it's not impossible. But do I want Conference League football? That's not the UCL I was looking for. So, no, I don't really want Conference League football. So, because that would be we'll be the first club out of the big 6, let's just call them, to get that. No, I'd rather just miss out, let the owners suffer a little bit financially, and then maybe they'll either wake up or sell the club. So, yeah, it's possible, but I just kind of just don't want it now.
Yeah, no, I hear that. It's a tough one. See, because Europa League is always brilliant. Last year, we could laugh at you against Olympiacos. This year, we could laugh at you against Villarreal. So I'd be a bit disappointed if you weren't in Europe, to be honest, because, in the league, it's not as fun.
It's not. Do you know what? I actually like the Europa League, and that's not me saying that. Oh, look, it's a great competition, but I think it's enjoyable, especially the knockout stages. Because even though as an Arsenal fan, I've suffered, but there's some good teams in there. There's some good action. There's also some good drama as well. I mean, yeah, the group stage games are boring, but so are the Champions League most of the time. So yeah, I don't mind it, and I would have liked to win the Europa League this year at least, but it hasn't happened, innit? So you got to accept the circumstances.
It's one of those ones, the Europa Leagues, there's a few teams in it that have really got like a point to prove. You look at like Roma, for example. They should be bigger than where they are. But, I mean, obviously they kind of failed at the first hurdle in the semi-final because of injuries. But they went out there and they wanted to go and prove a point. Villarreal, who obviously knocked out Arsenal, even a dig. They never reached a European semi-final once, never reached a final, got a point to prove. Now they've done it. So fair play to them. But it's not a bad competition. It's just one of those things that, when you've had Champions League for so many years, it's, like you.
I would rather see Arsenal get to a final of the Europa League than get to the Champions League last 16 and get knocked out. Because what do we actually gain from that? Whereas in the Europa League, you have a chance of actually winning that competition, which I'd rather see my team win something than get knocked out. And yeah, the owners make more money, but why do I care about that? I'm not an accountant. I'm a football fan.
Hey, those are very fair points. At the same time, it's like saying, the Europa League is kind of sick and that. I don't think you'll find many Chelsea fans tell you that. And this isn't taking the dig at you personally in the slightest, but isn't it kind of a sign of the times where Arsenal have gone that, you're like, well, at least we're in the Europa League, that's fun. While obviously when every season we're in the Europa League, until we get to the semi-final, we're kind of annoyed that we have to be there. Obviously, from the semi-final, it's a bit different because you play bigger and bigger teams, and then you get to the final, it's a bit of a different story. But until then, it's like, when obviously we won it on the Asari not long ago, obviously, Baku, you'll remember. But, the group stage was it what it was, Bate Borisov, Prague, do you know what I mean? But then obviously you got to Frankfurt, I was at that away game, best atmosphere I've ever experienced in any football stadium. Doesn't matter whether it's a Champions League or Europa League, that atmosphere was different. So, I had a great time in the Europa League. Then I didn't quite make it out to Baku, but that's fair play. But still, it's not a position where you want to be, and it's just funny when you hear those Willian, statements initially when he signed. I spoke with Arteta and he wanted to bring me in, so we can qualify for the Champions League and win it by the time I leave. I'm like, bruv, it's an L. It's a big L. I mean, to be fair to him, at least he scored his first Arsenal goal the other day. I don't even hate William much. I have no problem. So I'm happy he hasn't gone a full season without a goal. Considering if it was a winner, I would have been a bit disappointed. But it was a 3-0 anyway, so we're good. But actually, weird question, because I know you had defensive injury issues. Have any of these injuries and injured players, have they come back? Are they back fit for tomorrow, or is it all the same?
It's mad because we've only actually got 2 injuries right now. One, David Luiz, who is close but not fully fit, and second is Granit Xhaka, who got injured in the warm-up versus Villarreal. Apart from that, it's a fully fit squad, which is actually insane for Arsenal because we don't have that normally. But yeah, Tierney's back. We've got the likes of Holding and so, but they're awful anyways. But yeah, apart from Xhaka and Luiz, we have got a fully fit squad to play with.
Although Xhaka and Luiz are big players. I know Luiz has obviously been a bit of a clown with giving penalties away, giving red cards away, and that. No, although I will say this still, that red card against us last season was the only reason why you didn't lose, because we battered you until that red card, and then you was like, or not battered you in a sense, but we did, and you defended.
Oh yeah, that winner.
Your fans, not obviously all your fans, but some of your fans have got such a hatred for Martinelli. Like I don't see why, but because of one goal, they just hate him so much. They want to see him fail. They want to see him. Oh, he's awful. He's the worst. He's this. He's that. So but yeah, in terms of Chelsea last year, yeah, you're right. Luiz got red carded, but I wouldn't say he's a clown for Arsenal. I'd almost say he's probably been our best defender this season. Like, he's not been that bad for us. Really hasn't. And I think he's a bit of a stereotype. Oh, Luiz he's the worst. He's not the worst. And I don't think he's gone a trophy-less season since 2013-14.
Well, he has now.
No, he hasn't actually. He's won the Community Shield.
Oh, that well-known trophy.
I've come prepared. prepared. Yeah,
come on, practice.
But yeah, no. When you said Luiz and Xhaka,
can we finally win I know we take the piss out of the Community Shield, but can Chelsea finally win the Community Shield? Like every time we are in it, we bottle that. So can we? I don't need to win it every year, but every now and again, be nice.
There you go. No, that's what I'm saying.
In the chat. Big up, Lewis. I don't know whether he'll join us. Sorry, Babs, just a second.
No, that's fine.
Don't know whether he'll join us. He said send him the link. He might pop in.
Don't join us. Stay away. Do your thing, man. I don't need you as well.
AC Andreas Christensen is out. He already tweeted he's never been as disappointed as that he can't, put any Arsenal players in the AC penitentiary.
He can't tweet.
It's probably the best thing for Babs ahead of this game is that Andreas Christensen is out just for this. And obviously Mateo Kovacic is still out injured. But aside from that, we're also at full fitness. Maybe not full fitness because we've played about 15 million games this season. To be fair, Arsenal have played equal amounts of games, I suppose. But still, maybe not quite at the same level of pressure, especially the last few weeks. Like it's literally been almost cup final type game for Chelsea, week in, week out, every 3 days. It's been a bit crazy. It's been a bit crazy. One other thing I would like to ask you, Babs, before we get into a more of a general conversation, I suppose. Now, doesn't the fact that you say Luiz might have been your best defender say everything you need to know about Arsenal?
It does. But I actually rate David Luiz as a player. I don't think he's that bad. But you're right. It does say something. I think he's a very good defender. I think he's very underrated because if you look at his Premier League career, he's won Premier League trophies. He's won trophies at the clubs he's been at, and he's always been one of the best defenders in my opinion. He's not that bad. And I think when you said Xhaka and Luiz are important, I think I saw a stat that out of 22 games that both of them have started, we've lost 2 of them. So they are important.
To be fair, yeah, I mean, I'm one of those. Like, it obviously it's a bit of banter. You joke about David Luiz when he was here. In his last season here, he was our best defender as well. So, we can take the white claw we want. And it wasn't even close. And obviously Frank and him somehow fell out and that didn't really work. So, off he was. But before, Frank joined, we were in a good position. So, fair play, I suppose. But, the red cards and the penalties, they have just stacked up a bit too much. I know they haven't necessarily always cost you games. And in the grand scheme of things, they probably didn't cost you like any silverware or any European football much. But still, it's just you can't keep doing that as a defender if you want to be regarded as a serious defender, can you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. It's true. But like Sergio Ramos gets red cards all the time, and he's considered one of the best in the world. So yeah, you know what I mean?
Goals, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. But yeah, listen, Luiz might score a free kick every 5 years.
Well, like
has he scored one for Arsenal?
No, he hasn't, bro. I don't know.
So the last one was
when they go in, I tell you, they are amazing. He's only seen when they go in.
Has he ever scored for Chelsea? Because I don't think he ever has. Has he?
No, he's scored loads.
Has he?
Go and look it up.
Loads is maybe an over-exaggeration, but over his 2 spells,
I thought he only scored one against for Brazil. 20 goals from free kicks.
Yeah, he scored at Anfield 2 years ago. In the rain, when it was like he took a quick free kick almost from like 30 yards and smacked it home.
That was a league game.
It was a league game. I remember that now. Jeez, man. Nah, he ain't scored a free kick for Arsenal, but it's Arsenal, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah.
David Luiz scored 11
2-0 against Man City at Stamford Bridge under Sarri as well. Header from a corner.
Oh, that was a
header.
Those
are the ones I remember.
11 goals.
And obviously, sorry, say that again, bro.
11 goals David Luiz scored for us.
Is that just in the league or all comps?
All comps, I think.
Fair dude.
It was just a quick.
I remember those curlers. Against Basel, obviously in his first spell, Europa League, that was a lovely goal. The scream against Fulham from like 40 odd yards, that was a lovely goal. But obviously that was first spell, so he hasn't been quite as prolific, I feel like, in his second spell than he was in his first spell. Yeah. But hey, so be it. Before we get into anything further, I do have to quickly, remind everybody, if you don't know, I am sponsored by OneFootball this month, so I'll play quickly the clip. Basically, just download the OneFootball app in the description below, and just listen to what I have to tell you. I want to say a massive thank you to OneFootball for partnering up with me and sponsoring my channel. Like the name suggests, it's a football app. And trust me, it's one of the best ones out there. You get all the latest football news from pretty much every single team and league all around the world. Team news, live score updates, league tables, fixture lists, everything you could possibly want to know in the world of football, you find it right there. Never want to miss out on any news surrounding Chelsea again? OneFootball has got you covered. As you can see on screen now, all the news is all there in one place. Whether it's the latest injury news, articles before and after games, or of course, transfer rumours. And with the transfer window actually opening and coming up soon, as well, you'll definitely want to make use of that transfer indicator, which not only tells you about all the rumours out there, it also tells you how likely a certain transfer actually is to happen, which is definitely quite handy during a very busy transfer window, which could be on the horizon for Chelsea. And like I said, it's honestly a brilliant app that I can only recommend downloading with the link down in the description below. And downloading the app with my link also really helps out my channel. And I want to say it again, I really appreciate them sponsoring me. And like I just said, it's a brilliant app that everyone should have on their phone. And all it takes is literally a few seconds to click that link down in the description below. Doesn't matter whether you're an iPhone or Android. I download the app right there with that link. So again, go down below into the description and download the OneFootball app with my link right now. There you go. Like I said, just download that. That'd be massively appreciated. Ian, obviously tomorrow's game is not just important because it's Chelsea Arsenal, it's a rivalry and that. It's also important for our top 4 chase. Obviously, we're in the Champions League final, and if we win that, it doesn't really matter. But you don't want to put yourself in a position where if we, and touch wood, we don't, crossing fingers we don't, lose the final, it's like a double blow of not only have we lost the final, but also we're not in Europe or not in the Champions League next season. So we want to make sure we get that top 4 done. And it's also obviously, holds a lot of importance in the race for that. It's weird, really, because Sky Sports 2 days ago posted like this whole little like slide on Instagram, but like how many points each team needs to qualify for the top 4. And it said we need 4 points. When that's just not true. I don't know what Sky Sports are smoking, but that's just not correct. So I find that a bit weird. But obviously the Manchester United-Leicester game is taking place in about 45 minutes. That will be big. If Man United beat Leicester, that would make things a lot easier for us. And if we get a dub tomorrow, we put ourselves in a good position. Actually, if we win tomorrow and Liverpool lose to Manchester United, we're already done with just 3 points. But obviously Liverpool need to lose to United. So it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one to be in. How do you feel in the top 4 race? You're very confident. Where do you think we'll pick up the points necessary? Basically, the main question is, do you think we'll have it done before we play Villa?
Yes, completely. I do think we'll have it done. I think the intensity will be there, and I think it's going to be a very tough week or so for Chelsea. I really do, in terms of the fixture obviously build up and having to deal with all the squad issues, and of course you've got to think about cup final as well in there. It's not just a case of top 4, which of course you need to go and get a result against Arsenal. I'll be honest with you, I think if the Arsenal game would have been before City, or we hadn't have picked up 3 points against City, it would have been must win. But I'm kind of the impression that as much as of course you want to win it and you want to beat Arsenal, London rivals and all that, I take a draw, honestly. As long as it kind of keeps us going, keeps some momentum in our favour, I just don't want to lose, because that's when people can really start to creep up on you. But the fact you can just keep a point away from them. Do I back that we can beat Leicester twice in 2 days? Yeah, I really do. Or twice in 2 games, I should say. I think it's 3 doable.
Days. You're not far off.
yeah. I think it's doable. I really do. And it's not a dig at Villa or anything like that. I don't know what they'll be playing for at that moment in time. But if it's for them, because obviously you don't know what can happen with the rest of the season, if it's absolute shit or bust for them, they've got nothing else to lose, they could go absolutely all at you, and it could be a massive banana skin. It really could. So get it done, and Man City are going to have the league wrapped up before the last game of the season. So just get it done. Just get it done. Get into the top 4. And if we can rest people for that Villa game, again, no disrespect to them, but if we can take that risk between us finishing 3rd and 4th, I don't really care as long as you're in the top 4. If it means that we're getting better prepared for a Champions League final, I'll take that hit financially, whatever it is.
That's a very good point. Also, you have to say for Villa, obviously, the last game against us will be their first game with home fans back. So even if they have nothing to fight for, having fans back at the ground plus literally nothing to lose, you might as well all go for it.
Exactly.
Like you said, banana skin written all over it. Obviously, I fully trust Chelsea. I fully trust Chelsea under Tuchel that if we need to get a result there, we will go and do that. I firmly believe that we can, especially because the Leicester game in the league is on Tuesday. We have that league game against Villa on Sunday, so there's plenty of rest in between that. We don't actually need to rest players against Villa if we don't want to. It's kind of just like, if we want to do so, but we don't really need it, if that makes sense. And perhaps I guess that takes me back to you, because obviously now you're not, with a final coming up, but you've also played every 3 days pretty much for the entirety of the season so far, really. And I didn't actually look at the lineup that you had against West Brom. Did you rest players there, or do you think you might rest a player or two tomorrow, or is it because you have nothing else to fight for, just make sure you beat a rival like Chelsea, so you'll go everything he's got?
Yeah, I think you'll go for full strength, because we did rest some players against West Brom. Aubameyang didn't start. Tierney was on the bench as well. So yeah, a few players were rested.
Chelsea. What are you guys saying?
Where the hell are you?
He's drunk.
I'm out.
Clearly.
What do you mean?
Where are you?
What do you mean?
Just out. I thought I could pop in for a few minutes to say Chelsea are absolutely smashing Arsenal both ways.
Yeah, I've heard AC's ducked out of the game because he's too scared of our strikers.
What do you mean too scared of your strikers?
Why is he not there?
You're thanking God.
Why is he not there?
You're thanking everybody that he's not fit for that game. You do know that.
I was looking forward to breaking that penitentiary open.
What was that? It's tight.
What's that?
Who are you with?
I'm just out drinking, innit?
I can see that.
Yeah, he's showing us that.
There you go.
Where
I
are
mean,
you?
see, if Lewis turns up and turns up with some Arsenal banner, I don't think anybody but Babs has a problem with that. So, you know.
I just
think we all
want to
have
see
a
how
good-
worried Babs is for tomorrow, innit?
Nah, I'm looking forward to it.
You're looking
Looking
forward to
to it. I'm not sure about that one, bro. I'm not sure about that one. Lewis, how are you feeling ahead of tomorrow's game anyway?
I'm excited, man. On a level, if we lose 3 in a row to these dickheads, we should just fucking boycott the FA Cup final out of embarrassment, if you get what I mean. Because there's no way we should let this happen 3 times in a row. These lot ain't even serious about the Premier League anymore.
Especially because we've not lost to Arsenal at Stamford Bridge since 2011, so nearly 10 years.
Yeah. But here's the jarring thing. If we lose them, everyone's going to be like, oh, this is another hint that we're going to win the Champions League because we lost them in 11-12. Now, fuck that, man. We ain't spinning it if we lose to these lot. It's embarrassing. It's fucking embarrassing, but it ain't going to happen. I'm not thinking about a loss because it shouldn't happen. Defensively, we're solid. With or without the Danish Maldini, we should be able to keep a clean sheet against these lot. It's about whether we're clinical. Same thing as it is every single fucking game we play. Do we take our chances or not? Because we're top of the league for everything except for conversion rate. So as long as we take our chances, we should be all over these lot. If we don't take our chances, it's going to be peak for 90 minutes. It'll be like the 2-2 draw. Everyone says it's an amazing rearguard Arsenal performance. No, we were shit going forward. Same way we always are. It's typical Chelsea. If we take our chances, we have nothing to worry about.
I mean, you're probably not wrong. I mean, to be honest, that's the crazy thing. Like, thinking back, I mean, I don't know how kind of much Chelsea you've seen, Babs, but when Frank was here, there was plenty of games where we were the worst team. Best example against you at the Emirates. That was one of our worst performances in God knows how long. Even if, you know, if Jorginho takes his penalty, we could have even gotten a draw out of that game in the end. So, you know, it's a bit of a example, really. But there have been plenty of games where we were the worst team. Kind of. Since Tuchel's joined, I don't think there was a single game where I would have said we were the worst team. Maybe the one exception would be the second leg against Porto. Obviously, when they scored the last-minute overhead kick, maybe you could say we were the worst team. But aside from that, every single time we played Man City, every single time we played, I mean, Liverpool only once, but still, Real Madrid, didn't matter who we played. We kind of played everybody off the park, which is a bit mad. And does our form, our run, does that kind of scare an Arsenal fan a little bit? Does that annoy an Arsenal fan a little bit? Or is that just like, you know, you do you, we've got our own problems?
No, you have to pay homage to it. It's great form and it's great work to Thomas Tuchel, and I think he might just be a perfect manager at this time because he's coming and he's done something that I didn't think he could do, which is just sustain this level of. No, not only are you good defensively, but going forwards, you make chances. You know, it's not like you have one thing that you're good at, one thing you're bad at. You're good on both sides. You're very balanced right now, and I think that back three, when it works, it can do this. Where you dominate games, you can, get teams out with pressure them out of the game as well. And the way you lot press is very impressive. I will not. You kind of squeeze teams up the pitch. I saw against Man City and against Real Madrid as well. They couldn't play through you because you just don't let them to get past that front line. It takes at least 5 passes to get past those front 3 players, only to then get into the midfield where you got Kante just waiting there to get the ball back. So no, it is very impressive, and obviously I am fearing that. But yeah, man, look, you never know with Arsenal, innit? It'd just be so Arsenal if they could somehow just turn up and win this game, because that's how we work, bipolar.
I mean, the bipolar, bloody hell. I mean. I can't believe that you called your own club bipolar. It's a bit mad. Mad. I mean, obviously, I'm pretty sure we've all seen, obviously, the DT fan cams and that. Do you align yourself with those kind of statements of, I hate this club, I can't handle it anymore? Obviously, he isn't 100% serious when he says that. We all know that. Like, I'm not going to put words into his mouth or put meaning into his mouth, even though the words were there. Are you along the same lines? Obviously, just to touch quickly on the whole ownership problems that you've had. Like, obviously, Kroenke has been a problem. But personally, and I will tell you this now, if you disagree, fair enough. I think Arsenal fans are putting a lot of their problems that they have outside of just the owner. They're trying to kind of hide from their problems they have on the pitch with their players, with the manager, and just blame everything on the board and try to kind of excuse everything that's happened in the season, almost deflect, almost do a Jose Mourinho, who comes out with the most ridiculous statements the second his team loses, so no one's really worried and cares about their team losing anymore, and just talks about the ridiculous thing he's just said.
Mm-hmm. No, I do see where you're coming from, because while the Cronkies have not spent the money that we should have, maybe, to compete with the best teams, they have spent money. Partey was a big signing, Pepe was a big signing. I think the issue we have, though, with the Cronkies is the people they've put in charge of the club. Because if you're not going to run the club, get people to run the club that are good at what they're doing. Get some good sport directors in, so even a good manager, if you don't think Arteta's good enough, get the right people on there. So when you spend the money, spend it the right way. Like, you look at Leicester, they might not spend the most money, but they spend it in the right way. And Arsenal just don't do that. We spend the money, but always in the wrong way. I can't think of the last time we had a good transfer window, because every year we have a couple
He's your
flops.
highest assister.
Yeah, but it was a free transfer. I'm talking about money now, isn't it? Like, even the free
Yeah, but he
transfers
gives
are awful
you
because Willian's getting.
He's won 2 Premier League
But
titles.
that's another
He's in
example
Europa
of-
League and FA Cup.
But that's another example of squad management. Who's managing the squad and who's building this squad? Because there's so many players from different regimes. You've got Emery's players, you've got Raul Salehi's players, you've got Arteta's players, you've got Edu's players, you've got Wenger's players. All these mixture of players, and that's what you're seeing now. Arsenal can't gel. We can't gel because we've got different players from different regimes. So that's never going to work. One thing Chelsea have is you can change managers, but because you've got the same boardroom, the same scouts, the same people signing those players, it's always going to be the same. You're going to have that same level of, quality in the team and that chemistry there. We don't have that chemistry right now. We've got zero chemistry on FIFA. There's no one linking. They're all red links because we can't seem to find that connection between players, because Pepe's good at one thing and then Aubameyang's good at something else. And then you've got Saka who's good at everything, and then you've got players like Lacazette sometimes who struggles to do anything.
I'm very agreeing with that. And also one of the other things as well, I don't know the Arsenal board inside and out, I can't lie. But I very often feel that the Arsenal board are business people and not football people. And I think there's a few people on there that want to claim that they're football people, but they just don't get it. And because, in terms of spending money, the Cronkies, they own the LA Rams. And, I'm an NFL fan. I know more recently they've spent money. They've spent big, big money. We have a salary cap in the NFL, which stops them from spending more. But every single year, they're right up the top of it. Every single year. And it's a little bit surprising to me that they haven't employed similar people with Arsenal. Because the Rams are a decent team, not elite, decent team. But you can kind of see some of the same things that are going on with Arsenal are also going on with the Rams over in the States. But because they've got one or two more people that are a bit more knowledgeable about the sporting, they can kind of get away with it. But it almost feels like Arsenal are massively papering over the fact that they've got people in the boardroom that, no disrespect, just don't know what it is to be a football team and what it takes to win big trophies, because you haven't won anything other than the FA Cup since the Cronkies came in. Take away Community Shields, because obviously I know you're going to include that in a minute, but yeah, you haven't won anything other than the FA Cup.
No, I agree. That's why I say, when you're owners that you don't want to spend the level of money that maybe a Man City or Chelsea would, you've got to find the right people. And they've not done that. They've just kind of found anyone. Found someone outside Tesco's, you can manage Arsenal. Come inside. That's what we've done. And that's why we're struggling right now. Because if they have selected the right people and got proper directors of football and with experience in football that can get the best out of their teams and build the best squads as well, we would not be where they are. Spending that £70 million on Pepe hasn't worked out, has it? Imagine you'd spend that properly on other players for different money, or maybe spend it on 2 players that are younger but that will come into fruition now. And that's Arsenal's biggest issue. And in terms of the Cronkies, what they will say is that since they've bought Arsenal outright in 2018, they spent the money on Pepe, they spent the money on Partey, so they've been spending money summer on summer. And this summer again, the whole PR's come out saying they're going to give Arteta a budget. But I'm not afraid of the budget, I'm afraid of how we're going to spend that budget. Who we're going to buy. And we're going to just buy one player and that's it. Because we need to find a lot of options, and cheap options as well as good options. I'm hearing names like Basuma and Aarons. And a lot of Arsenal fans are going, why are we going to sign Basuma? He's in a team that's in the mid-table. He might improve what we have right now. And Arsenal fans, they want the big superstars. They want Jack Grealish and that, so they can get excited. We don't need Jack Grealish right now. In terms of what we need in more of that is players that can improve the entire squad and not just one individual like Pepe and like Partey. But that's the issue with the Arsenal fans, where we want superstars over the actual improvement of the squad, and then the Cronkies for not employing the right people. But no, I do agree with what you're saying.
It's also a tough thing as well. Sorry, very quickly, Laurenz, about Odegaard. You brought in Odegaard because he's a name. He was the highest paid youngster and whatever for a period of time at Real Madrid. Obviously, he's been associated with Real Madrid. Ceballos, another one associated with Real Madrid, the big name in football and whatever. They're not exactly elite players that are making your team better. And actually, if anything, you look at Odegaard and think, okay, he's done enough. He scored 1 or 2 goals. You know, okay, I can appreciate that. But Smith Rowe plays the exact same position. And I think, and I was going to ask yesterday when I was with AFTV, what is the goal for Arsenal? Because right now you're thinking, well, play Odegaard because he gives us the best chance of winning, or do you play Smith Rowe because you go, well, he gives us a good chance of winning, and he's actually our player? I don't really know what they want to do. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me.
I don't know, man. Do you know what? A lot of you, I know you just said he might have a better chance of winning with Odegaard because he's got better potential, but right now Smith Rowe is outperforming him. Game in, game out. He's doing more, you know. And yeah, you're right. If he's not our player, what's the point of playing him? It's the same with Danny Ceballos. But guess who started last week? Danny Ceballos. You know, Bellerin's not going to be here next season. We all know that. He started in the Europa League semi-final. And this is where it goes to the manager and why are you selecting these players if they're not going to be here? And he might just be a very good coach, but as a manager, he's horribly failed of managing the squad and the egos and the personalities and getting the best out of them. But I think it's so much wrong with the club. You don't know where to start. Do you sack the manager? Is that the problem? Or is it the owners? Or is it the players? Or is it transfers? And that's why this summer, like every summer, it's a summer that's going to decide Arsenal's future. They're going to have a war chest. They're going to spend all the money. And we're going to be great again. That's all what they're saying in the media. And it's all PR. But Arsenal fans will fall for it because we might just sign a superstar player and spend big money on it. Because money does talk. And then Arsenal fans will be excited again. So it just keeps going around in circles. And we need to get out of this roundabout that we're currently in. Keep spinning around it.
It's the hope that kills you.
Yeah, it's the hope that kills me all the time. And it's my team that kills me all the time.
It's weird, really, because some of the problems you've mentioned, obviously not necessarily in terms of the owner, but in terms of, you spend big money on a player like you did for Pepe and it doesn't really work out, and we wish we spent it differently. Chelsea have had a great, track record of spending money on the wrong players, especially in terms of strikers. We've had Torres, we've had Morata. Obviously, Werner has especially recently kind of sorted himself out more and more and more. And obviously, in terms of numbers, the season hasn't actually been that bad, as much as he should probably have scored 25 goals. Instead, he scored about 10. So, he could just have been on even crazier numbers. But when that happens, we just keep doing all right anyway. Obviously, we've had a few real, shocking seasons, worst or on par with what you're doing right now. With, for example, when we finished 10th, and obviously Jose got sacked, obviously, just before Christmas and that. And so we've had that season without any sort of European competition. But we've always come back, and that's kind of what's the weird thing about Arsenal, because I think depending on who you are as a Chelsea fan, whether you're just taking the piss or whether you're looking at it with a bit of a serious face, you're like, well, they're still Arsenal. You still always manage to get some players, but I'm like, why would they want to go to Arsenal? But Arsenal still has a little bit of attraction. Sometimes I ask myself, I don't really know why, but they do. So, yeah, of course, money, sure. But it's like Leicester got money. West Ham got money. Do you know what I mean? Why? I mean, maybe now it's a little bit different because it's another season, but I thought that so many times. And it's like, you still get these players sometimes. When you got a Pepe, when you got the Odegaard, when you got Danny Ceballos. Of course, Ceballos sits there and says, he's kind of literally says in an interview he's using Arsenal as a stepping stone and doesn't want to stay there long term, which is a bit of an L. But at the same time, at least you got him for the time being. Do you know what I mean? It could have been at least a little bit worse, but you just never seem to manage to do anything of it. And the whole Arteta thing, I don't actually know your personal opinion on it. Is it, first of all, did you want Arteta when you got him?
Yes.
And do you want him gone now, or do you trust the process?
See, I don't trust the process. It's very hard to say I don't want him gone, because it's very hard to say I want him to stay. But I just really wanted to see him do well at Arsenal, because I know if he does well, Arsenal will do well. But I would understand if he was to get sacked. But guess what? He ain't getting sacked. The board ain't going to sack him because he's just lost the European semi-final to an average Villarreal team, to a manager in Emery. Respect to him, but his team was average, right? And there's not been a single report from even the worst of sources to say he's under any pressure. What does it tell you? He's here to stay. And Arsenal, I might not trust the process, and fans might not trust the process, but the club itself and the board members, they trust the process. Whether that's right or wrong, we're going to have to wait and see. I mean, I saw someone comparing Arteta to Ferguson, right? And the argument they were making was, but Sir Alex Ferguson came in and he finished 11th his first year, then he finished second, then he finished, I think, 11th and 12th or something like that for the next 2 years. But that was 1980s. It's different now. Football is different. If you have one good transfer window with the right signings, you can be back up there with the best teams in the league again. As Man United have shown with Bruno Fernandes, where they've gone from a team that was 6th and 7th, or maybe they're thereabouts. So Fernandes came and now they're 2nd right now, Europa League final, and they should be in the Champions League semi-finals potentially, or finals if they were there. So, you're never as bad as you really are. And you're never as good as you really are either. That's why football goes around in circles, where maybe in a year's time, Chelsea might not be good and Arsenal might be good, or might be, the same as it is right now. You just never know. And Chelsea fans saw it earlier this season, where banter can come both ways. Where were obviously very excited with the transfer window, and rightly so. That Lampard did the start of the season and it didn't work out. So football does go around in circles, and that's why I am hoping, like you said, Arsenal will come back. But I just don't know, man, because I say that every year, that we'll be back, and then we keep getting failed. So yeah, I'm just hoping that this summer we can finally just eliminate the issues in our squad. So sell the players, so get signing the players, get rid of the players first, because they've been here for too long and they've let us down for too long as well. We're talking Bellerin, we're talking players like that have made mistakes that are not good enough. Get them out, get them gone, and then replace on top of that. Too often do I see Arsenal get linked to squad players. Why do we need squad players? We need to sign players that are first team quality, so our current first team quality become squad players. But Arsenal fans are too happy to sign players that are £5 million, £10 million, and squad player. Why do we need squad players for? We're not competing for anything for a squad.
I mean, the problem I see with Arsenal there is if you want to get rid of all the players that you need to get rid of, that's too many players to sign in one summer. That's too many players. You can't do all of that in one window, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I'm not saying.
Depending on what your targets are, again, I suppose. Like, is your target top 4, or is your target like fight with Everton and West Ham?
Next year it's going to be very weird, because quite easily Arsenal could be, because this is how football works. Sometimes you could be at your worst and you just pull it out and you get back up there when we're fighting for the top 4 somehow. Because West Ham did it this year, right? They were meant to be relegated according to their fans, and now they're fighting for top 4. So you never know with football, and it's always those windows that you think you've done the worst where you actually do your best. But it's the windows that you think you've done your best, like Arsenal did back in 2019, where we finished under Emery. He flopped. He got sacked in October and November. So I don't know, man. The players I'm talking about, though, I'm talking about maybe 2 or 3 players now. Bellerin's one, maybe Lacazette. Just be ruthless. These players that they might be good on some games, but they're not good enough on every game. So if they're not good enough consistently enough, get them gone. Bye-bye, we'll see you later. And we don't have Europe next season, so these squad players that get paid massive money, like Mohamed Elneny, is on £90,000 a week.
Yeah.
£90,000 a week. Why is he on £90,000 a week? What's he offering for £90,000 a week? I've got nothing against him as a person. Might be a great person, right? But as a footballer, what's he offering for £90,000 a week? And that's.
But surely Elneny is closer to offering what's worth 90k a week than what Williams, offering 250k a week.
Hey, listen, be careful, William, mate. He might turn up with his tax on Wednesday, mate. The tax bill might come through. Yeah, he's a tax man. He's gonna come through with that tax bill to Chelsea and let loose maybe. You never know. But I hope he doesn't start, by the way. But I have a low key feeling with Mikel Arteta. Don't know why, but he will start William. This is my issue.
What happened last time a former Chelsea winger played against Chelsea? He was after the game caught laughing with his old teammates, and all the opposition fans hated him, and we battered him. So when Arsenal play former players, they always score against us. No matter how bad that player was for Arsenal, he always scores against Arsenal. Right? For Chelsea, you can have your best player in the last 10 years, like Hazard, and he will do nothing against you. It doesn't make any. It's not fair. It's not fair, man. This is you. It's just funny. I'm sorry, it's just funny to me. It's one of those. Ian, why don't we go focus a little bit more on Chelsea? Obviously, we did a lot of rotation against Manchester City. God knows how we actually won that in it. I know they rotated a fair bit too, but they didn't play a Billy Gilmore, who's played like 5 Premier League games up until that point in his career, and was one of the better players, especially in the second half, one of the best players on the pitch. So, City fans can talk what they want, and Sky Sports can talk what they want, but City rested everybody. Sod off, don't care. We rested equally amount of players. But how do you think we will line up tomorrow? And I will do what I did the last time out. Let me just get this share screen up here so we can kind of discuss the lineup that way. Obviously, if you have anything to share on this, perhaps you're happy to join, but obviously we'll just quickly focus on Chelsea for a minute. How do you see us, lining up here? Because obviously Mendy will be in goal, right? I don't think there's much of a debate to be had there.
Yeah, Mendy in goal for certain. Back 3, I think he rests Thiago Silva. Honestly,
again?
I do. I think he rests him. Yeah. I don't think he's going to play him twice in a couple of days, especially with the FA Cup final coming up. I don't think he's going to play him.
But he did that last week, though. Like, he played 3 in a row. He played Madrid, he played the Didn't he play Fulham? No, didn't he play Fulham as well?
I can't remember. No, he didn't play Fulham.
No, he didn't play Fulham, but he played 3 in a row. He played 2 in a row. He played West Ham and Real Madrid first leg. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And the midweek game before that. So he has done it before. My logic would be play him tomorrow, play him in the final, then rest him against Leicester in the league.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too sure. I don't think he plays all 3 games, and I think he starts the cup final. So it leaves him one of these 2 games he ain't going to play. I don't know if it will be right, but I think I would potentially rest him tomorrow, I think. And then, I mean, obviously you're missing Christensen, so you've got to play the other 3 of Rudiger, Zuma and Aspi as your back 3. It would definitely be Rudiger and Aspi. It's just a case of whether it be Zuma or Thiago Silva. I'm not too sure.
It's a tough one because I don't know.
Yeah.
Because you rested him last game. Why would you rest him against City if you're planning to rest him against Arsenal? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I'm not too sure. Maybe that. Yeah. Sorry, we'll put him in. We'll go for the normal back 3. Why not? We'll go for a normal back 3.
But so for you, Aspi doesn't get a rest.
Yeah. So Aspi doesn't get a rest. No.
Have you guys heard that Aspilicueta has been linked to Arsenal?
Yeah.
I did actually see that on Twitter, yeah. That's one of the weirdest one I've seen because I don't know. Someone in the chat, please tell me. And by the way, guys, I haven't really spoken to you yet. Appreciate every single one of you that is here, obviously. We've obviously spoken to a new guest and stuff, so I haven't really gotten into the chat quite as much. Do apologize. Obviously, if you really want us to discuss something that you want us to discuss, do use the super chat function. But way more importantly than that, get subscribed. We're only 175 subscribers, or less than that at this point. 175 subscribers away from the big 10K. I really want to hit that. So if you're new here, please be sure to subscribe. That'd be massively appreciated. Hit that big as red subscribe button underneath. That'd be brilliant. And of course, smash that like button. But if anyone in the chat can tell me whether... forgot the question even. How long Aspi's contract? How much of a contract he has left? Because I think his contract doesn't run out this summer. And I read he's joining Arsenal on the free. I'm like, well, I don't really understand that because his contract isn't running out. So how is that possible?
Does not make sense.
No, it really does not make sense. I mean, you can hit your head, right, Babs? But Aspilicueta is actually good as long as you play a back 3.
Bro, I don't care how good he is.
Defender.
I don't want to have Chelsea retirement players. I'm good, bro. You can have Lionel Messi. I wouldn't want him, bro. I just don't want it anymore. I'm good. I've had Willian now. I've had Luiz. I'm good. I've had Czech as well. You've had 3. 4's too much now. Just stay away. Send it to Tottenham. Tottenham would love Aspilicueta. He's a winner. He might win a trophy at Tottenham. He probably won't actually. But send him to Tottenham. So no, man, we're good. We're good.
That's for me the funniest thing with Petr Cech. He goes there to Arsenal, is apparently loving life. Then we find out towards the end of his career there, he actually came back to Chelsea literally once a week just to chill with people. And then not even a year after he's retired, he comes, or not even a month after he's retired, he's officially announced to be back at Chelsea, and he's officially part of our Premier League squad this season. It's the most ridiculous thing.
Can we put Jack in goal for Chits and Gigs?
In the Arsenal goal or in the Chelsea goal?
In Chelsea, why not?
I will say one thing though. If Aspie was to sign for Arsenal, Chelsea fans wouldn't like that. Like you wouldn't like to see him in an Arsenal kit. It's just a bit weird.
No, we wouldn't.
Nah, but
I didn't like Czech going there either.
Yeah, he's proper Chelsea, Aspie.
I heard he was heartbroken about Willian as well. I heard Lewis was heartbroken about Willian joining Arsenal. I heard he was crying.
But Lewis heartbroken about everybody.
Yeah, true. AC's coming next.
That's true. But just to get back to it, Ian, you sure Aspie will play? Not use that kind of... Because Aspie will have to play all the games then.
Yep.
But why don't we just play Zuma?
Because it's Zuma.
You put Petr Cech in goal?
He's got fuck all.
Just for banter.
Yeah, for banter. He's got no positioning. I wouldn't trust him on the right-hand side. I would trust Dave a hell of a lot more.
No, of course not. Obviously, this is not saying he's better, but I'm just saying maybe Aspie could do with the rest. He looked shattered after Madrid and obviously had to play last time out already.
This for me is you go and get the result.
Yeah,
you go and get the result, and that's what I think he's going to do. I think he's going to go out there, get the result. Thanks very much, bye. And
it's a good point. I think at left wing back, there's not much of a debate. Ben Chilwell start. He was resting against Man City. That's obvious. Here, two players. Reece, or do we go a bit batshit crazy and think Arsenal? Oh, we're playing not Arsenal. We're playing the team in 9th, so we're going to start Hudson-Odoi.
I think he's going to play Reece James. I just think it's
and would you as well, or would you pick Callum?
I probably would play Callum. I think I might just play him a bit further forward, actually. But
fair dues. That's a fair shout. In midfield, I suppose Jorginho and Billy, maybe?
It's got to be Jorginho and Kante. It has to be.
Don't you think Kante gets a rest now because Kante played City? I think Kante's resting now.
But what are you going to play? Gilmore? I don't
Gilmore
know.
again or Mason in midfield, I suppose.
If just to say this, if it is going to be Gilmore, it has to be playing alongside Jorginho because Kante was too forward thinking, and Gilmore got this. He got shafted the other day in the first half, especially just in this what's the right phrase? It was just this. It was almost like it was like a rabbit in the headlights kind of thing, you know. Not all the time, but there was one or two occasions you just went, he don't want that. And he shouldn't ever want that because he's like 18 years of age. He's a good enough player, but he kind of got left out to dry a little bit by Kante. And I don't want to say that's a dig at Kante or anything, but you just want to avoid that for a young player's progression. So
He's a baller.
Yeah, he is completely a baller, but he played so much better in the second half when he was allowed to go forward.
Yeah, he just reminds me
agree.
of. He's just Gilmore's so elegant in the ball. Like I watch him play and I'm going, this guy is going to be top draw.
He is. He really has. Like, obviously, we saw him do really well, especially late last season before he picked up that meniscus injury, especially those back-to-back games against Liverpool in the FA Cup and then Everton in the league just before, obviously lockdown, right? He was absolutely brilliant. And then he did good before he got injured as well. And then because he's not played so much, I wasn't really sure how much to trust him, to be totally honest with you, because the other three have just all done really well ever since Tuchel has joined. But against Fulham, he was kind of so-so, but also a little bit exposed. But against City, especially, the longer the game went on, he was honestly fantastic. The kid's 19. Like, fair play to him. Obviously, Arsenal have a few really young players, Saka, Emile Smith-Rowe and stuff. You have these young players, but, Billy did a really, really good job. For me, it's just like, in terms of, to you, Ian, I can't see Kante starting again. That would be Kante starting 3 in a row. I cannot see that. We've been, Tuchel has been so adamant that he can't overload him. Like, the worst, I know we need top 4, but we really need Kante for the Champions League final. We cannot even take any sort of risk that he gets injured.
Listen, what I'll say is, if we start Ceballos in midfield, you might as well carefree Luiz G in that midfield. You'll still beat us.
There you go.
That'd be a good partnership, Lewis,
there you go.
Camera.
Well, sorry, what does Lewis bring to the equation?
I don't know.
Hey, we'll have a player.
It'd be there for the vibes, man. For the vibes.
For the vibes,
yeah. We'll have a player slower than Jorginho, so that's something. The question for me is just: is it Billy again, or is it Mount in midfield? What do you reckon, Ian?
Mount.
Mount starts, right? We know that Mount was rested against City.
For banter, let's play Mount in midfield, and then let's put Hudson-Odoi up top.
Yeah, you know what? Why not? I mean, obviously, then I have to switch it round because Mount always plays on the left, I suppose. But if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right. So then, where does Callum play in this one, or the right?
Who else have we got? Ziyech? No. Let's put him on the right-hand side. Yeah.
Hudson-Odoi, there you go.
Let's play.
It's weird because, it depends on what the rest of the plan is for, because obviously we have loads of these players, right? Like Havertz probably starts here. Like, probably let's take it out the way because he didn't start the last one. But what about here? We could play Werner. We could play Pulisic. We could play, Mount if Billy starts in midfield. Like, we have so many options. Like, who would you, or Ziyech in theory, and switch Callum over to the other side? Like, it's crazy.
I don't think it'll be Ziyech. I don't think it will be. I don't know. I don't know if he's got the 100% faith and confidence in him to start him in a game that is so big. A big London rivalry, and it's a game we still need to secure top 4. And I don't know whether there'll be the 100% confidence in Hakim Ziyech, because as much as people say, "Oh, he scored the other day," I didn't think he was great. I didn't think he was wonderful, and a lot of people have kind of criticised me for that. But I didn't think he was wonderful. And I think if you need to go and get a result, he might not be the player that you need.
He might not be. So who is it for you then?
I'll say Pulisic. Let's go Pulisic.
Fair dues.
I think Werner's going to be used in the cup final.
Yeah, 100%.
He has to be used in the cup final. Pulisic, you'd like to think would be. But I think probably Werner needs a little bit of a rest, just as Jessica said there. I think he needs a little bit of a rest, and I think that he's going to be used in the cup final, and I think he's going to be used in the Champions League final. So play Pulisic, and hey, it might be the start of something beautiful. Do you know what I mean? that front three. It could be quality.
It might be. See, I tell you what I think will start. I think Billy start here. This is less what I would want, but more what I think will happen. I think Callum doesn't start again just because he never does at the moment.
Yeah.
And I think Werner will stay in the side. Just because against Arsenal, like they don't park the bus. Like we know that. I mean, they might be defensive tomorrow. We'll see. But Werner's pace, I know he has a poor first touch, and I know he can't dribble to save his life, and his finishing, unless he's offside, is dodgy. But Werner will tear Arsenal's defence apart, I think, just with the pace.
I think Pulisic will, though, as well. Similar sort of thing. I just think the trickery maybe a little bit more. I
agree. Pulisic, I 100% agree. Pulisic would do that, but I feel like if I'm thinking about who does Tuchel start, I feel like he doesn't like starting Pulisic 2 in a row. He started last game, so I see unlikely to start again. Werner can just do every game, I suppose.
How good is Werner at pressing?
Oh, brilliant. That's one of the reasons why he does play so much, even though he kind of is shocking half the time, because he's good at pressing, because him and Mount are so great at it. That's one of the reasons that he has.
One of the things I can see you guys doing tomorrow to Arsenal is squeezing us to the wings like you do against most teams, and we're bad at that. When Bellerin's on the ball, if Bellerin's starting, we're losing that ball. And now you've got Chilwell there, so Chilwell and Reece James, proper fullbacks that can win that ball back. I think the only issue is that midfield is a bit slow. So if we were to play a Smith Rowe potentially in there, who will start there, then maybe you could overload that area with a bit more speed there and a bit more. Because, I mean, look, that defence as well, looking at it, Rudiger's top draw. But Thiago Silva and Aspi, while they're, great players, I think they have a lack of pace. And I remember Thiago Silva at the Emirates where, we're struggling because Arsenal had so many young players like Smith Rowe, Saka and Martinelli just causing a lot of issues. But now, look, obviously, apart from Petr and goal, I think that's a very good team.
Although, to be fair to you, or to be fair to Thiago Silva, back then we was playing the back four. Thiago is much more comfortable in this back three kind of vibe where he has these people around him. But you know what? Because we've got an Arsenal fan here, why don't we quickly talk about what team Arsenal will play as well? And you can just, highlight that for us. And what do you think you'll play a back three? Do you want me to do full red or do you want me to red and white? Let's do full red.
Get white out of this, man. There's no white in this.
There you go. Well, I mean, your trousers are white. Your trousers are white. But what formation do you think you'll go with tomorrow, mate? Obviously, we can adjust the rough formation.
See, I think as much as I would not be surprised if Arteta did go for a full 3-4-3 to match Tuchel. He's done it in the past with Chelsea. I think he's going to go for a 4-2-3-1.
There you go. So let's have that. Obviously, we need to delete all these names. I mean, Petr Cech.
Players are good at Arsenal kits, mate. You might as well have to leave it like that.
I'm not sure they would agree.
Oh.
When they're all 30.
Oh yeah, shit.
Retiring.
Some players might not be bad with a 30.
There you go. I suppose Leno is kind of set to be in goal, right?
He's set to leave Arsenal.
I heard that as well.
Happy about that.
See, it's very concerning because we've sold Martinez now, so we thought Leno was the one. Yeah. So we back Leno, and it's not like Arsenal saying we want to send Leno. Maybe they are, but mostly Leno saying I don't want to stay. Which I'm going, bro. We've just backed you in the summer by selling our other goalkeeper, and now you're saying you want to leave. But then again, you know what? I don't really care. Right, because he's been good for Arsenal, right, as a goalkeeper, but he really does let us down when it comes to playing out of the back. So if we can get another goalkeeper in, and the person we're hearing is Andre Onana from Ajax, who is available apparently for £7 million with that whole doping ban.
You can't forget, he hasn't played football for a year because he was suspended for, obviously, doping. Dodgy doping, as in terms of, maybe it's a bit harsh that he was banned, but still, he didn't play
I'm not saying is a better goalkeeper in terms of the goalkeeping aspect of saves and reflexes and handling. He might not be, but kicking out of the back is very important to Mikel Arteta. And if you look at Edison, he's a great goalkeeper kicking wise, but he can be iffy when it comes to the saves as well. You do realise that, he's not a perfect goalkeeper. But I think we will sell Leno this summer and get some money for him, and it is what it is. We accept it, and it is a mistake to sell Martinez, but we can't go back in time. There's no time machine to go back in. But I think it will be Leno. But I wouldn't be surprised if Ryan started.
I mean, fair enough. Question, actually. Have you heard where Leno might go?
Anywhere.
I think Dortmund were making an offer or something like that.
Might do. I mean, my girlfriend wouldn't like to hear it because she's Swiss, but their Swiss goalkeepers are both a bit dodgy. So, that's one of those. And what about the back four then? Obviously, you say other than Xhaka and David Luiz, everybody is fit. So who do you expect to be the back four? Starting with the centre-backs, I suppose.
Oh, it's a sticky one because I see that you're playing a back three, and with that wing-back, so I'm thinking we could have gone for Saka at left back because I don't know if Tierney's 100%, and also Saka did very well against West Brom as a left back, making those runs in behind. But yeah, I'm gonna go for Tierney at left back.
Cool.
Go for Gabriel as the left-sided centre back.
Did I spell it right?
Yeah, that's fine.
There you go. Who? Sorry, say again?
Gabriel as a left centre back.
Left centre back. Yeah. There you go. Have you been happy with him this season? Obviously, you said Gabby Luiz has probably been your best defender, but have you been happy with Gabriel? Obviously, a lot of Arsenal fans hyped him up when you signed him. But...
Love Gabby. I think he will get better and better as he learns the English language. You know, because when it's David Luiz, I think we've conceded that's the partnership. We've conceded the least XG in shots against and shit like that. So stats wise, I think he's been good, but he's had some moments. But it's an Arsenal defender. I'm not surprised. But yeah, it'll get better.
What about the other one? Holding?
Oh, this is it's gonna be Rob Holding. Yeah, put him in there.
Do we spell him like that? Yeah.
Yeah, put in Rob Holding. Oh goodness gracious! Do you know what? Change it. Put Callum Chambers there.
Callum Chambers. See, the fact that Callum Chambers is still even a shout to start for Arsenal.
He's not that bad actually. He's not actually that
bad.
Care, his last start at centre back for Arsenal was against Chelsea at the Emirates, where he got fortunately that knee injury in 2019. Lampard when he beat us 2-1.
Yeah.
So I'm going for Chambers. Might as well go for Chambers. There's nothing left to play for. Cedric a right back. I don't want to see Bellerin near the team. Not even in the squad. Leave him out completely.
There you go. Fair dudes.
Leave him out, man.
Actually, would you want to sign Ryan Bertrand? Because obviously it does come out today that him and Southampton couldn't agree on a new contract. So a lot of teams are apparently after him. Would you want Ryan Bertrand?
No.
Another old Chelsea reject.
Not just that. He's a good defender, good left back. But ultimately, if you look at our team, you know, do we need another 30+ left back when we've got Tierney there already? Yeah, we need the backup, but come on, let's get better.
That's all it would be. That's the thing.
He would be, but we need more. I don't want more 30+ players. Just if we've got a young team, build around that young team. Don't just add in players for the sake of players now. I don't want signings for the sake of signings. I want quality signings.
I suppose the question is, can you get a better left back than Ryan Bertrand?
I think we're looking at some Scottish left backs. So you just got to scout someone, innit? Find some gems.
True. But obviously, can Arsenal afford another season where you're 9th, 10th, 11th because you sign all these like young players that could need? God knows how much time?
If we were to have a 9th season again, that would be the end of the Cronkies. They would sell the club.
So that's actually what you want, isn't it? Really?
It is what I want technically, but 9th, 10th, I want my team to see my team do well as well. So.
But if they're making money out of the club, then why would they care?
Yeah, but listen, this whole money thing, right? I get it, but you buy a football club to make money. That's the whole point of buying a football club. You think these businessmen are buying clubs?
That's their whole point of buying a football club.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, when people say money, you know, if Danny Welbeck was to buy Arsenal and he was making money, as long as my team is successful, I don't give a damn how much money my man is making. Make your money. Do your thing. Right? I just want to see my team successful. That's what I care as a football fan. I'm not an accountant. I don't care about the club's financial records. Like I think a few Tottenham fans were saying to me, "Oh, we've made so much money. Why do you care about money? Are you getting that money? No. So why do you care about it? You know, as a fan, I care about my team, and as long as we're successful, I don't care how much money anyone's making."
I mean, it's you're not wrong. It's one of those where like. You know, you need an owner, and I tell you a weird story now. Not that either of you or any of you watching really care much, but my local club is in a position where we got like an investor from bloody Germany, and there's all these shambles going on. He wants to kick everyone out of the board, and he's like basically not having any of it. Apparently, some wages were paid late, and like God knows what's going on. And I'm like, this is what Arsenal United fans must feel like when you're just like, what are these owners doing to the club? This is
Innsbruck.
Yeah, exactly. It's a whole mess. Out of nowhere, we've got money, and then it turns out this dude from Hamburg is just trying to screw us. Well, sod off. What are you doing? Anyway.
You have to bite yourself.
There you go. Moving on with more important things. Who's going to be the DMs then, bro?
Thomas Partey and Mohamed El Neni. Mohamed El Pelo.
Who's playing which side then?
Partey on the left.
There you go.
Partey, zoom, and El Neni, yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? El Neni is one of these players. Like you signed him, 3-4 years ago at this point? And you're like,
I just think he's on too much money.
Of course he's on too much money, but I still don't understand how, like, if Arsenal were ever going to, like, do a rebuild of the squad, I feel like he'd be one of the first ones. I'm like, yeah, he's not quite good enough. For where you want to be. For where you are, he's fine. But for where you want to be, it's like, how is he starting games?
Yeah, but obviously with Xhaka injured, that's the issue with our midfield depth. We don't have that depth. Like you have Jorginho and players like Gilmour. We don't have that player coming through the academy. As of right now, I mean, we've got one in Miguel Aziz, but he's 18 right now, so he's a bit too young to just throw in there. But yeah, I think Elneny and Partey could work as a midfield partnership. It worked at Old Trafford, for God's sake. And that back four, yeah, I guess it's the best of the bad bunch right now on the right-hand side, especially.
I suppose so. And what about, obviously you have, in terms of names at least, you have some good attackers. Obviously, Odegaard, Emma Smith-Rowe, Saka, Martinelli. Who's starting a front four then?
See, now that you've got, and this is going to be controversial, now that you've got Thiago Silva and Azpilicueta playing as centre-backs, I wouldn't start Aubameyang.
You wouldn't?
I wouldn't.
Up
I'll
top?
start Martinelli. I want someone who's got youth in him that can just run those centre-backs and just use his speed, and just make runs behind, constantly cause issues,
Again, a little bit arrogant because I don't want you asking every single week. Isn't the whole point of playing someone like Aubameyang because you can exploit his pace? What's happened to that?
No, the thing is, his runs have just disappeared. He seems to just be static. He wants the ball to feet all the time, and when he gets the ball to feet,
maybe he's
that
waiting for his hairline to catch back up before he starts running.
Listen, mate, you can go to Turkey for that if he wants, but nah, listen. I love Aubameyang, but it's just not been the season this year, and I've looked at your centre backs there, and there's two, while very experienced centre backs, they're very old as well, and they're going to be slow, right? So if you can exploit that with someone who's just full out energy. That's what Martinelli is. He's just energy. He's a bot of Lucashead. If you just play him there, he will cause for me more issues than Aubameyang would, which is controversial, surely. But I'd rather go for that right now. What do we have left to play for?
So is that Martinelli up top for you then?
Yep, he started there last year.
Not think about playing Aubameyang left wing?
No.
Fair enough.
I mean, fair
He
enough.
doesn't give us
Who
the
is your
balance.
left winger then? Saka, I suppose, if Tierney plays left.
Yeah, Bukayo.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, Saka. Oh, you know what? No, take Saka out. Put Smith-Rowe there.
Left
Who's
wing?
on the left? Has he got the pace for that?
I'll tell you why. Put Smith-Rowe there. Put Odegaard as a 10.
All right.
Right.
You want me to be fancy? Hold that.
Yeah. Nah, don't. Oh, there you go. Odegaard with the over the thing, and then Saka as the right winger.
Okay.
Saka on the right, is it? Okay.
Yeah. So what this team is, except for Chambers and Elneny, so it would be Xhaka and Luiz. That team, except for the striker as well, was how we played against Tottenham. So you had Tierney overlapping with Smith-Rowe coming inside, making runs, giving space. When you play Saka on the left wing, because he's left-footed, he's always going to occupy the same space of Kieran Tierney. So you're going to kind of get conjunction there. And same with Nicolas Pepe, he's left-footed. So if you've got Smith-Rowe coming inside, playing, and that's why I go back to it, your midfield pivot is it's slow, right? It's great, but it's slow. So if you got two number 10s now with Smith-Rowe and Odegaard, you can cause issues there. And Saka's another one who can come inside, go out wide. And with Cedric, you get natural width. He's better than Bellerin in terms of providing that natural width. And then with Martinelli, you've got a player who will just constantly make runs. And it just takes one good run and one good pass from Smith-Rowe and Odegaard, who can deliver it, and Bukayo Saka, and we could get a goal.
It's fair enough. A question I have for you. Whenever I see Martinelli play, he doesn't, to me, look like a striker. He looks like the type of player that would be a winger. Why does Martinelli never play on the wing?
It's just mixed because when he came into Arsenal, he was a left winger. So he came from Brazil and he was a left winger. And then Emery's first games in the Europa League, he played him as a striker and he scored quite a lot of goals. And he even scored goals at Anfield, he scored goals in the Europa League, scored goals in the Carabao Cup. Then he got injured, unfortunately, and then Arteta's come in and he's played him against Chelsea as a left winger. We saw that in the 3-1 victory last time. But against West Brom, we played him as a striker. So why would you experiment with him as a striker if you didn't see him as a striker as well? And I think what he is he's like you look at these Uruguayan, South American strikers, Argentinian as well. You look at like a Suarez and these players just constantly run. They've got quality, but they're constantly making runs about and constantly, they don't stop. Martinelli's a bit like that. Not quality-wise, but in terms of that attitude of a striker, just to constantly cause issues, not to stand still, not to make it easy for defenders. As a left winger, he's not as safe from the ball. He's a risk taker, And that's why if you got Smith-Rowe, you can gain that ball, you can retain that ball in the final third, and with him and Odegaard, you can interchange, come outside. And ultimately, that's what I see Arteta playing as well. He loves Smith-Rowe, he loves Odegaard, he loves that combination as well with Saka. So, yeah.
The thing is, if something that Arteta loves, shouldn't you play like the opposite?
Well, Some things he's good at, some things he's bad at, and some things he's good at. Do you know what Mikel Arteta is, right? And this is what I think Arsenal are thinking right now. And whether they're right, they're wrong, we'll wait and see. But they see Mikel Arteta as a manager who, they could easily get a manager who, if you look at a player who's 25, 26, in his peak years, but he's nothing special. He might, be good, but he's got a ceiling, let's just say. He's got somewhere to get to. We could easily get the manager and be 6th and 7th potentially, so there and thereabouts, just a little bit higher. But what they got on Arteta, what they think is, they must see this, it's a potential of, he's like a young player who is making mistakes right now, but we all know if he gets it right and he, grows with experience, will be a great player. That's what I guess they're seeing. And it's that potential, which is a bit of a Fugazi right now, Fugazi, that he's keeping him at the club right now. It's the what if he becomes this, but is Arsenal, a club that should be a what if club? Surely he should be another club right now, testing him out. If he does well there, bring him to Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's a similar situation with obviously we have with Frank, right? And obviously we're just in a different position as clubs that we pulled the plug and you didn't, I suppose. And obviously for Arsenal, it's in a even squad-wise. Like obviously we can take the piss all we want and Arsenal can beat themselves up what they want. Every Arsenal fan with sense knows that we have a better squad. Obviously you can bring more of a squad than, there is. But if you just look at the players, Chelsea have a better squad. So even if Tuchel came to Arsenal wouldn't right now be, you weren't in the Champions League, but you probably wouldn't be in an FA Cup final. I mean, maybe you would have made the Europa League final.
And Chelsea is the perfect fit. It just is. Because he's gone to Paris Saint-Germain, he's gone to Borussia Dortmund first things first, and he's done well there. He's got the best of Aubameyang, and I actually did a video back in 2017 where I called him as a potential Arsenal manager. So I've rated him for a while when he was at Dortmund as well. And I remember his style of football. It was a bit slower than Klopp's in terms of it's not that ultra, verticality passing forwards, but it is very, controlled like you're seeing at Chelsea right now. But at Dortmund, he didn't have that money to spend. He was up against Bayern Munich. Then at PSG, he had the money, but he had superstar egos like Neymar and Mbappe. So you can't really play a system. You have to accommodate them guys. At Chelsea, where you've got world-class players like Kante, there's no egos in terms of the all young players like Mounts, Havertz, players like that who are going to listen to Tuchel and Tuchel can mould. Whereas at PSG, then have that at Dortmund, they don't have the money. And that's why you look at Arteta as well at Arsenal. You look at the players that have performed the best with him, it's the younger players, like Saka, like Smith-Rowe, even like Tierney, who he can still mould. Whereas the experienced players, as I said, you can't teach old dog new tricks. And that's why we're failing.
Yeah, I agree with you that the Tuchel is a perfect fit because of that, because he's made that experience of young players, moulding players, trying to take a club that's, not favourite, like Dortmund obviously is in Germany. I know he didn't win the league there, but at least he won the German Cup and took Bayern closer than, anyone else has done over the last, since he's been there, really. So, that's one thing. And then obviously went to PSG, had those egos, and essentially, he handled them. He handled them better than Pochettino is at the moment, that's for sure. I know he had the off game where, like, against Marseille, where he had, 4 or 5 players sent off in the same game, which is a bit mad. Or was it 5 or 6 players sent off for both teams and 3 or 4 for PSG or whatever it was? So PSG they just lose their heads, right? But I agree, he has made experiences that have kind of made him a good fit for us because we've got a lovely mix of experience and youth. Like, obviously, Thiago Silva, Rudiger, Aspi, we've got experience there, Jorginho as well, Kante. And then you've got the younger players, even Werner, if you want to consider him that. I know he just turned 25, but still Werner, Havertz, Pulisic, Hudson-Odoi, Mason Mount, Reece James. You've got these young players. It's a lovely mix, really.
It's 1-0 Leicester, apparently.
Yeah, it is, yeah. It's a fantastic goal.
For fuck's sake.
Fantastic goal.
Top 4's on Leicester. Come on, Leicester.
Who's even Luke Thomas? I've never heard of him in my life.
He's a left back. We ripped him apart as well. Pepe ripped him apart. He's a little average little left back.
Although, to be fair, United always go down and win. So this doesn't...
Yeah. No, I forgot that. Yeah.
That's literally their favourite thing to do, I suppose. Haven't they been behind in nearly 20 games this season or something? It's crazy.
Do you know what I'll say there then, right? As much as I will give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer credit, right? I think it just goes to show how many times you're going to go behind, in a game. In every game, he goes behind every time. And then it's his players, these world-class players like Bruno Fernandes, like Paul Pogba, that will get him out of that.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
100%. The only problem is that somehow against the bigger teams, they just play more defensively, and then they keep a 0-0. So they never score, but at least they don't go 1-0 down in the first place.
Yeah, but if you look at it as well, they should be having a good defence. They spent 60 on Wan-Bissaka, 80 on Maguire, 30 on Lindelof, and 25 on Luke Shaw. So what else do you want from that defence? That should be a solid defence there and there. And even then, there's still questions to be asked.
It's weird,
And
isn't
you've
it?
spent money on Tellez as well, another one.
Yeah, Tellez as well. They got Bailly, who's worth £30 million they spent on him. They've got expensive defenders there, man. I don't want to hear this United fans. Oh, he's done great with the defence. He spent money on the defence, and that's why it's a good defence.
It's weird anyway. United is that team. Like, none of us know, and even Man United fans don't understand how they're second. Like, Man United fans took the piss out of themselves all season. They've only going to social out until Christmas, right? And all of us took the piss out of Man United. It feels like we do that every week. And how are they second? I don't get it, honestly. It's
because of Chelsea, unfortunately, because you were working out in the first half of the season. You would have comfortably been second right now if it wasn't.
I mean, sure, but even then, they'd still be third, and I'd be confused how they're third. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but this is a weird season. West Ham United will fight in relegation. Now they're top 4.
Yeah, expect West Ham to go straight back out of that top 4 fight.
This is a weird.
The second the fans
club,
get back in the stadium, they'll be fuming. And
yeah,
I think there's been a few teams. I think if Chelsea would have had fans back in the ground, Lampard, I don't think would have ever got into a position where he could have been sacked. I think he would have gone on to do more. I don't think West Ham, if they'd have had fans in the stadium, would have been anywhere near top 4. I think Man United, if they were playing the way they did to start the season with fans in the ground, Ollie would have been gone probably by Christmas. It's a weird one. It really is a weird one. And it's worked for certain teams brilliantly and certain teams shockingly.
The Man United's team right now is, I think, 2 games away from equaling the Invincibles record of Premier record of away games undefeated. It's just weird. You know, Liverpool, there was games they couldn't beat Brighton and Burnley at home. That would never happen if there was fans there.
No, that's true. 100%. That's true. That's true. It's a weird season. It's
write it off.
Really weird
Cancel it. We're just erase it from memory, and they'll be happy. Never happened.
I mean, I suppose last season ended without fans as well. But last season you finished 9th as well, or 8th or something.
8th, actually. But we won the FA Cup, I guess. Look, this is what I was saying.
Right? You didn't win the FA Cup before the referee.
No, listen, I don't want to hear this, right? I've been through this before. But as a fan, right, a lot of fans will say, oh, but we finished 2nd this year or 3rd this year. I don't care about where you finish, right? I care about what you've done that season. Because in 10 years' time, you're not going to go back and say, right, remember that year we finished 3rd? No, you're going to say, remember that year we won the FA Cup, we won this trophy. Yeah, West Ham would, but, you know, as these big 6 clubs, forget Tottenham, the big 5 clubs, then, you need to have something there. You know, like Tottenham fans in 10 years' time, they might say, yeah, we had a great team, right?
1-1.
But, it's a 1-1.
1-1, there you go. Didn't last long now, did it?
I knew it. Well, it must be the penalty as well.
There you go. Ian just told me that he needs to head off in a minute. So, Ian, before I finish it out with Babs for another 10 minutes maximum, what's your score prediction?
1-1. I'm standing by it. I think it's got draw written all over it.
Man,
I really do.
Weird.
I know that's not exciting. It's not fancy. I just think it's got 1-1 written all over it. I really do. Both teams don't really want to lose. Both teams want to win, but how much is it worth giving? We're a bit stubborn. Arsenal are a bit stubborn at times. I just think it's got 1-1. I really do. But it's got one of those games that has the potential to go bang in one team's favour. I just don't see it happening. I think it's going to be an edgy game and it's just going to be 1-1. You get to about the 80th minute and both teams will go, yeah, right, okay. That's all right, I suppose.
Fair dude. I mean, I suppose it depends on today's result. I think if Leicester win today, we'll be more going for the win. Does that make sense?
Yeah, completely, yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, 1-1. Myself and Babs will give our score prediction in just a second. Ian, thank you for being here. Thank you for turning up. Appreciate it a lot. Check out Craigo28 Football down in the description below. Of course, help him reach 20,000 subscribers. He's getting ever closer. So make sure you subscribe for that. And Ian, as always, appreciate you. And I'll talk to you soon, man.
Dos Vidania, up the Chelsea. See you later.
There you go. So, Babs, obviously we discussed your team. We discussed the situation that Arsenal is in. How do you actually feel ahead of tomorrow's game? Are you like, just write it off, or do you actually have some hope? Like, would you be happy with the draw, number one, or do you think you could get a win? Yes. How are you feeling?
Yes, happy with the draw. Yes. No, I can't. I can't see how Arsenal win this game. I just can't. I don't know. There's something about Chelsea right now where you just don't look like you've got any weaknesses. That's the difference. It's not like you've got a little chink in your armour. You've got nothing there for what I've seen so far. You're in good form. You've just beat Man City away from home. I mean, if you were to lose to Arsenal, it would be a bit embarrassing, wouldn't it? If you were to lose to Arsenal and now and not beat Arsenal and now worse,
it would mean you did a double over us if we lose tomorrow.
Exactly. It wouldn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense for me to say Arsenal are going to win tomorrow. So yeah, I would take a draw, to be honest, because just get away with it. And again, it means you wouldn't beaten us in our worst season. So I don't know, man. There's nothing left to play for, I guess. So I think it'll be a 1-1 draw as well, or 2-2. Or Chelsea will win this game 2-0 comfortably.
That's my prediction. I mean, Luiz has turned back up. You know, we'll add him in a second once I can see his camera, so he can drop us a score prediction. He'll probably say 6-0. I mean, why not? You know, deja vu. To Arsenal, come on, sort yourself out. I mean,
6-0 to Arsenal. That's my prediction.
If Chelsea have a man sent off, anything can happen. But unless we do.
Yeah, West Brom showed.
Luiz, my G, how you doing?
Yes, guys, what are you saying?
What are you walking about now?
Oh no, I'm somewhere in it. Alright, Babs, where you hiding, man? Get out of there.
Nah, I need to do something, lad.
Do what?
What's up, man?
Pray for tomorrow.
I'm praying for AC, mate, because he's scared right now, mate. I heard that AC he's in pain right now. He's
isn't
shivering.
scared. He isn't
AC's
scared.
shivering right now, mate. He's seeing a counsellor right now. He's too scared of Bukayo Saka and Martinelli. He was having nightmares about Martinelli. That's what I heard.
Nah, you know what it was? Man saving himself for the Champions League final, the big stage. He's not dealing with scrubs like your club. That's what it is.
He's too scared. We admit it, man. He just admit it. He's too scared, man.
No,
he got scared of Martinelli's pace. He got scared of Smith Rowe.
Nah, man.
He got scared of Bukayo Saka. He said, yo, man, my penalty might get opened up here. So he's like, yeah, you know what? Let's close it down.
Season. You lot ain't getting convicted this season.
Rumour has it AC locked himself in his penitentiary because he's that scared.
Nah, man. Rumour has it AC's locking up the Champions League trophy in his penitentiary and he needs a new wing for it. That's what I heard.
Yeah, fair, bud. Fair.
But Luiz, like, what?
How is it? No, wait. How is AC scared of you, man? He played in a back four in a European final against you, man, and you lot held 4.
Is it?
Yeah. So how is what's he scared of then?
I don't know, man.
Nothing, man.
The
only thing he could be worried about is the Willian purple patch because he scored a jammy free kick against West Brom. Other than that, there's nothing to be worried about.
Lewis practices his lines in the morning, you know that. The AC penitentiary, he's got these phrases, these catchphases, you know.
He's got them all in his notes.
You got copyright these, man. Trademark them.
AC penitentiary, you already know.
Yeah,
but Luiz, what's your score prediction? What's your score prediction, bro?
I'm gonna be real. I would have run with some bullshit like a 6-0 if we could finish, but we can't finish. And that's what the problem is. We will make enough chances that we can win 6-0, but we won't take enough to win 6-0. So I'm just gonna say 2-0 Chelsea and just leave it at that. Because I know it's gonna be one of them frustrating games. We're gonna have a bunch of chances, a few will fall to like a Werner or something, and they'll score like 1 out of 5, but we'll get enough to win the game. So it is what it is.
That's fair. I mean, my score, I can't decide between two. Either what Luiz said, 2-0 or 3-1. I feel like if Arsenal get a goal, you really chase that to win it.
I don't think they break us down, though. That's the thing. Our defense.
I don't think so either, but you never know. Dodgy things have happened before.
Yeah, fair enough. Remember last season, innit?
Exactly, and I feel like they'll open up, and we know what happens when teams open up against us. We'll just have 17 counter-attacking chances, not take all of them, but take one. That's why we're going to win 3-1.
One thing I'll say, and this is the only way Arsenal win tomorrow, is your press. Right, it's normally good, but Arteta's philosophy is to invite pressure because he's learned from Guardiola. Invite pressure and play through that pressure, right? That's how we, won the FA Cup last season against Man City. We invited the pressure and played through it. If we can be on point tomorrow, playing out of the back, then it's potentially, because obviously you press high, so if you can get past that attack in the midfield, you're in there, basically. That's the whole point of being a press. But that's the only way I see Arsenal causing issues.
That's what I find the most impressive thing about what Tuchel has done at Chelsea, that he manages to press in numbers, that the press actually is successful while having a back three. Because usually we press, and then you played your over-the-top balls to like Aubameyang down the left, and Ashley was in the mud, right? But now that we're in the back three, none of these over-the-top quick balls after you beat the press have hurt us. I mean, obviously, tomorrow might be a different story, but City tried it, Liverpool tried it, Real Madrid tried it. All of them tried it. None of it worked. I mean,
you know why?
I don't
it's
get it.
It's because you've got Kante in midfield. And if Kante isn't starting, it's been a massive boost for Arsenal. Because Kante is a hack in midfield. He's basically two man in one.
But Kante didn't even play against Atletico Madrid.
How was it?
Well, the second leg he did, but the first leg he didn't play.
I don't rate Atletico like that, though, still. I think Atletico...
They're still top of La Liga, It's a bit mad.
Yeah, okay. La Liga's a dead league anyways.
Hey, I mean, nothing is as dead as Ligue 1, where Pochettino can't even win the league. I mean, what a fraud. What a fraud.
Yes.
Damn right, Don Trocero, you must be mad.
imagine Lil
Don
actually win the league.
Ask Flawless who Don Trocero is, innit? That's his guy. That's the guy who's been wanting at United for the longest.
Yeah, but that's just another one of them ones where like you get your Liga players and we get good players instead. It's one of
Oh,
them.
we get
Why
the
not?
good league good players like Eden Hazard, Didier Drogba, and that.
Mendy.
Do you know he wanted to come to Arsenal? Have you heard about that?
Who?
Hazard. He fully wanted to come to Arsenal, but his agent said, no, you're not going to Arsenal. His agent had sense, basically. He said, you're not going to Arsenal.
United and City were the top clubs in England at that time, and he didn't want to go to a top club. He wanted to a club that was pushing for that, like Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea at the time.
Arsenal,
you lot
I
didn't
think,
have the money.
there's
Spurs and Chelsea was about whoever finished in top 4 at the time and Champions League, so he said he was picking the winner.
Yeah, I'll stand by it. I've heard in the past, and I'll say it as well. I think Arsenal are the biggest club in France. I just think we are.
Yeah, I
Think
mean,
about it.
Yeah, you lot have Thierry Henry, highest goal scorer in France
Henry,
history for now.
Vieira, Henry, Vieira, Wenger, Perez.
Giroud.
So we've got a lot of even Giroud. We have to play for Arsenal. He got his chance at Arsenal.
I've got a question for
So
you.
you're right
Naturally
on
as
that.
well.
I could run with that too. I hear that as well.
No, honestly, but I've got a question for you. Is it just because obviously I'm not English? When I was a kid, I was and obviously first time in my life I heard of Arsenal. Arsene Wenger was the manager, and I saw this meme the other day where, as a kid, we thought Arsenal was named after Arsene Wenger. Is this just
thought
a
that
non-English
as well.
thing? Are you as well? Okay.
No. When I first was getting into football as a kid, like I heard Arsenal, like Arsene Wenger was the manager because I ain't that. I thought the same thing as well. I can't lie. I run.
I
with
used to
that
think
too.
Barcelona and Arsenal were the same team, man. I was that stupid.
Oh,
what? I don't know why, man. I just think they were the same.
And then the 2006 Champions League final.
Yeah,
happened.
you man both cheat and use referees to get your way, so I'm not surprised.
And we've also got the GOATs, Messi and Henry.
And Giroud. Fair enough.
Petr Cech played for you, Willian.
Yeah, you
Hey,
man
listen,
got legends
you give
all over
Willian slander what
Petit
you
and
want,
that.
right? Because if Willian scores against you, man, tomorrow, that would be the funniest
Bro,
thing
if
ever.
Willian scores against us, we are packed anyway. So I'm going head first. You already know my motive for this sort of shit.
Willian scoring in a 5-1 Chelsea win. Happening. You heard it.
Yeah, you
lot
lot will still celebrate the consolation goal. I wouldn't.
It'll be
put it
funny,
past you,
mate. I'm gonna count it as a 5-5 if he scores.
man. Exactly.
Yeah, no.
My point
Arsenal Twitter
exactly.
will come with that Willian goal for the next 5 years, even if you lose. It doesn't matter.
Exactly,
Yeah,
mate.
same
That's
as
all
the
we have.
Martinelli goal.
Yeah,
So we're the
exactly.
Twitter champions, innit? We've got the most Twitter points this season.
Hey,
This is
At
what we've
least you've
gone
got some
for. FA
points.
Cup champions, to
Exactly.
Community Shield winners, to Twitter winners. I can't be
And the
arsed,
Super
man.
League.
This
We won the
decline.
Super League as well. Because alphabetically
man.
we were A in it. A comes first, and Tottenham were bottom because they were T.
You are ridiculous. On my life, you
won
are
it.
ridiculous.
We are already top of the league next season. You just know that, yeah? We're already top of the league in 2021-22 season.
sake.
Bournemouth
man.
not getting Bournemouth are not getting promoted.
They're not
I was
promoted
good
yet.
times for
Arsenal,
Bournemouth at top of
as
the-
it stands, we're top of the league in 2021-2022.
Oh, there he's gone. He's gone. Whatever hallway he was from, he got kidnapped. Someone called the police. No, it's a madness. I mean, like I said, for me, 2-0, 3-1 is probably most. He's back. He's back. He probably replied to a message.
I
and
pressed
realised-
the X button by accident, so sorry, guys. Did that? That was on me. My bad.
Just clicked an X button by random. What are you doing, bro?
Bro, I'm
yeah.
on my iPhone, innit? Like, this is why Android's
mate. Get-
What do you
Get
mean?
some water down
When
here,
have you got an iPhone?
contract expired, innit? So I thought I'd make an upgrade, but it don't even feel like an upgrade. So
You moved
here we
over?
are. Yeah, like, I had to do an
At least you
Olivier
don't get
Giroud
Android.
move. Yeah, I had to do what was better for me, and it didn't Ashley Cole.
The funny thing is, because you're holding your phone that way, your face looks so long. It's so funny.
It's
No, I can
round the
see
bottom.
it as well, man. It's making the bottom of my face look so.
Why don't you hold a
massive,
landscape?
I can't be arsed. What? What? Like
Why don't
this?
you hold
So
it
I just look at the state of this, man. I can't
No, but
hold
so you
it.
can,
No, no,
can't
no.
Can't you?
No. Wait. What you've got to do is you've got to swipe down from the top and unclick the little the lock, right? So then your phone can turn, and then hold it landscape, and then it works.
Yes, love
There you
that.
go.
My guy, save for that, Laurenz.
There you go.
Come
There
on,
you go.
G.
It's
You're
iPhone
gassy as well.
experience.
This phone rotating, for God's sake.
No, I'm learning, innit? Let me learn.
But see, the thing is,
I'm
people
like
will blame
Mikel
this on him being
Arteta. I'm a
drunk.
work in progress. Just long progress.
You
No,
got
people
great
will blame this
potential.
on Lewis being drunk. Like, he wouldn't have clocked this even when he was sober. Like, it doesn't matter. We'll
Nah,
let
man,
you up.
I'm not drunk, man. I'm not drunk.
I'm what we want. I'm what work.
So you're over 18. You're allowed to be drunk. It's fine.
Yeah, enjoy
Yeah,
yourself,
fuck
man. You're
all,
getting you're drowning your sorrows in alcohol because you're about to lose to Arsenal tomorrow.
You wish, man.
Shameless story.
Damn right, you already know. Shameless FC gang, let's go.
Shameless FC going on to so madness. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we've had a very, very fun stream. I think at the end of the day, we talked a lot about Arsenal, had a bit of fun about that, learned some things that we didn't want to know, but, appreciate Babs telling us because, we saw Luiz, having a great time in some random hallway. Who knows where he was, but, we was loving it. Obviously, Craig was on as well. I need to put Luiz's link in the description after the stream, but of course, check him out at Carefree Luiz G on YouTube. And of course, subscribe to Babs. His link is down in the description as always. Like I said, we're just 170 odd subscribers away from the big 10K. We have 150 people watching. So if all of you are new here, we could literally get super close right now. So go down below, subscribe if you haven't already, smash that like button. And of course, check out OneFootball in the second line of the description. Download that. That'd be massively appreciated. But yeah, I think we're going to leave it here. Big game tomorrow. Let's hope Chelsea can get the dub. I'm confident Chelsea can get the dub. Let's hope we can make Babs cry a little bit. But only a little bit. We don't want to make man sad for the rest of his life. Just for tomorrow. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea. And I'll see you next time.
Peace.